We now invite you to join us for part 46 of the conference titled The First Middle East Vegetarian or MEVEG Congress, held in the city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates on December 7, 2010, with Lo Yao Nguyen, vegetarian, Senior Executive of Education and Outreach of Vegetarian Society, Singapore, who will be showing us how to make healthy raw smoothies.
We had a very lively workshop earlier on with about 50 students to take, and some of them were over enthusiastic and they used up a lot of the ingredients. So we had to make a last minute rush out to buy some more ingredients. So I was very worried that they wouldn't be here on time. So anyway, thanks for coming. So what I'll do is I'm going to explain in detail, because earlier in the talk I did, I was very brief. So now I'm going into a bit more detail. Okay, I think you know all this, right? Maybe I don't elaborate too much. Much of these, the good stuff in this is about how easy it is to digest, and the key word is the enzymes. Okay, it's the enzymes that are important. It's the enzyme that breaks up the food material so that it is easier to digest. It's the enzyme that makes the fruit ripen. And it's also the enzyme that makes the fruit pulverize. Okay? The enzyme is the important thing. In Eastern medicine, the Chinese physicians, they call it qi. Don't even heard of this. Qi is the life force. I think in yoga language, they call it prana. Okay, it's the same thing. And I only recently learned there's something like 7 to 10 types of qi. I didn't know that. So that was new. So anyway, food that is life is rich in qi. So that's why we want to preserve that. And qi is also very delicate, very easy to destroy. 47 degrees is all you need to destroy most of it. Fruits also have them in the right proportions. I mean the nutrients and the fluids in the right proportion. The minerals and protein also. Meat, for example, tends to be too high in protein. Good weight control, high in fiber, all that stuff. In fact, there's no fire used here, so it conserves the environment. I explained this before. Let's say noodles, pasta. A lot of people eat a lot of noodles. We have this fried kway teow. I'll show you a photo of this. The grease is used as to be refined, and then it has to be ground. It has to be extruded to that noodle form. All this is energy. So that innocent little plate of noodles that we think is actually very consuming of the earth. Okay, and it contributes to gorging, and I was also explaining earlier. Because of the lack of nutrients, we tend to crave for more food, because the body is craving for more nutrients. So we tend to eat, and we tend to eat even more empty calories. As such, we drain the planet's resources both ways. Cooking, or rather raw food, is known to be able to reverse many diseases. We have known of cases, even diabetes. Medically, diabetes is known to be irreversible, but we know of people who have managed to reverse it through a raw diet. Heart disease, I think heart disease and cancer is quite common. With the reversal is quite common these days. So I showed you this earlier, and much of this is preventable. If you combine heart disease and stroke, they're called cardiovascular disease. That is greater than cancer. So in Singapore, that is the #1 killer. Cancer is #2. Of course, to be able to reverse these problems, to reverse and to prevent, there are many factors. Genetic is one of them. Stress is another. But many of the other factors we can't control. If you can't change your genes, it's difficult to avoid stress in our daily life. But diet is something that we can change, something that we can do something about. Okay, it's got all the good stuff. No trans fats, no salt. The key point is in the antioxidants. That's the stuff that builds a strong immune system, and this is very rich. I have a friend, I introduced this diet to her, I say, and she had this only for breakfast. Okay, she's working in an office kind of situation. She does this only for breakfast, and her lunch and the dinner is still the usual cooked food stuff. And her antioxidant level overtook mine. Mine is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, mine was 86,000 units. Hers was 88, higher than mine, and she did it only for one meal a day. At first, her level was much lower than mine, so I don't know how she managed to do it. And partly because I live in a high stress environment, my work is very stressful, and I don't get enough sleep. So I was very fearful that my antioxidant level was going to be low, actually. So what I'm saying is that this is one good way to jack up your antioxidant level fast. Okay, we soak the almonds and the other nuts and seeds that we use, largely because of what we call enzyme inhibitors that is present on the skin of the nuts. We soak them so that we can remove them. These enzyme inhibitors interfere with our digestion. So if you eat the nuts that are raw, that is dry, you can get the feeling of indigestion. And so it's important to soak them to remove them. And also, after soaking them for 12 hours, they bloat up. Many of the nutrients actually go up. Like you see mung beans, the green beans that we eat, when we sprout them, some of the vitamins actually go up 600%. Okay, so it's the same with many other nuts, because the seeds wants to germinate. So it undergoes a lot of chemical reactions within. This is the king of nuts. Almonds is the king of nuts in terms of nutrition. It's good to have them because they help to replace the high protein that a lot of people need. I think the level of protein it comes close to that in wheat. Flax seeds, you see them later. We also soak them. See, flax seeds are good stuff. I think a lot of people know this. But the problem is, it's also a very hard seed. So if you were to try and chew them with the teeth, you can never chew it that fine. And if you don't chew it, it will just go up. You don't benefit from the nutrients. So this is one of the best ways to consume flax seeds, by blending them. Because when you blend them, they are super fine and they're easier to absorb. I think you can buy from the supermarket the ground form of flax seeds. There are certain doubts because we fear that when the seed is ground, some of the nutrients may oxidize. So again, we may not benefit. Goji berries, this is good in many things. It's well known for being good for eye health. This is the one. It's a Belgium study. When fruits are at its peak of ripeness, the antioxidant level is highest. Okay, that's when the fruit is also the sweetest, the most fragrant, and the most tasty. And this is how it looks like for mangoes. It's not true for some other fruits. Let's say apple and oranges, you find the black spots. Generally, if you're unsure if the fruit is overripe or not, the best way to know is by taste. Taste the fruit, because if it's bad, it tastes bad. If you find it sweet and it's still very fragrant, it's good. Okay, so taste is the best way to judge. We have about 6 varieties of bananas in Singapore. I don't know how many you have here. Some varieties, if you see it at this stage, they are gone, they're spoiled. But for this type, we call them the Raja Pisang. I don't know if you've heard of this before. For some varieties like this is the best. This is the sweetest stage. When I was much younger, I had severe gastric pains. Very severe. I saw many doctors. They gave me antacid. Antacids can be in a liquid form and can be in a pill form. I tried both and I couldn't take them because it made me nauseous. Every time I took them, I wanted to throw up. And then I discovered bananas, and that saved my life. And it was so much cheaper. It tasted so much better. Because banana is a natural antacid. It neutralizes the stomach acids. And I found out that my gastric pains came from my depression. I was very depressed at that part of my life. And banana cured it both ways. Because banana contains serotonin, something that uplifts, something that relaxes and uplifts the mood. So that cured my depression and it also cured the stomach. So I was so happy, and that was when I discovered the wonders of bananas. A lot of athletes use this because it provides instant energy. This is a natural sweetener. It's also very rich in many minerals, including iron, magnesium. Okay, best to avoid white sugar, best to avoid any refined materials. So if you need sweeteners, use dates. Yeah, please remove the seeds. Otherwise, you may have a very violent blessing. Molasses, this is a powdered form. Molasses can also come in a liquid form. I think that is more common here. 1 tablespoon of molasses has more iron than 7 eggs. Molasses is actually the residue of sugarcane juice. Well, what we do to produce white sugar is we concentrate sugarcane juice, let it crystallize, and the crystals are the white sugar. And the residue is the molasses. That's where the good stuff is. Good for blood production, especially for women. Potassium, magnesium, lots of good stuff. Oh yeah, and by the way, iron. For plant sources of iron, it's important to consume together with vitamin C. Vitamin C increases the absorption of iron by 4 times. Okay, so it's good to consume molasses, for example, molasses with lime juice or lemon juice, and that's easiest with a smoothie. These are the Malaysian passion fruit. The third one is the best. People would consider this ripe, okay, but the third one is the best. The fourth one is a bit dangerous. It might have gone. So again, it's best to taste, and you will know whether it's still good or not. I meant to show a video how to cut the mango. This is the cross section of the mango. Most people cut them like this, then shown in the top figure. And what happens is we end up with a lot of wastage. This corner here and here, they end up with a lot of wastage, and people don't know what to do with it, with a little bit. So I'm just suggesting, this is nothing important. I'm just suggesting you cut in a hexagonal fashion, in a 45 degrees fashion. That's the least wastage. Avocados, actually I meant to show the video where you cut, because some people don't know, you need to cut right in the center, you twist it, give a twist and it comes off. I have workshops and people were like, slicing it. Just some final points before I start the demo. It's good to have this for breakfast, because through the night when we sleep, the body detoxifies. Okay, the body cleanses itself. And when we wake up in the morning, the body is most absorptive of nutrients. So that's why it's good to eat the high nutrient diet. So it's good to have this for breakfast.
Since removing meat and dairy from my diet, I can honestly say that I feel more vitally alive. My energy levels soared, my eyes brightened, my skin, hair, and nails all improved in condition. Heather Mills, vegan.